Hey guys, Dante here and welcome back to my channel, The Burgers Art, and welcome back to another Sunday night art stream. Just stand by to double check all my mechanics. I have a few issues with like objects not wanting to charge for some reason. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, we are in a bit of an awkward position. We are actually looking at my bathtub, and it is this dirty, I swear, because I was actually doing some airbrushing earlier with black paint. Luckily, airbrush is usually water-based, so I'm going to give this whole bad boy a big scrub later on. Something's going on with my videos now. Stand by, stand by. Yep, I gotta restart the video. I mean, not restart the video. I gotta restart the camera. Stand by, everyone. Okay, let's see if that works. Focus the camera a little bit, make it look nice for you guys. There we go. So anyway, what are we doing? We are in my bathtub because I am going to be airbrushing this brain. In a previous stream, some of you might have noticed, not even noticed, some of you might have actually seen. I did sculpting of this brain, and then off camera I did a rubber molding of it, and I used expandable foam to create this brain. Then using a trick in which you take a series of cups with a ball on the inside of each cup and a series of wires, you can make a nice kind of like articulated tendril, and in this case it's an over-exaggerated spine. So I hit the whole thing with, it actually stands, I hit the whole thing with a EVA foam safe peel coat spray in black, and then a bit of white on it as well. So we are going to do the spray painting for this, or rather the airbrushing for this. I bought myself some new white airbrush paint because I was just running out of airbrush paint and just wasn't working. So we're gonna mix up some white with some old brown, and we're gonna start a little bit on the bone first, and then I have a nice kind of like skin tone-ish we could use for the first coat of brain on the brain itself. A little bit of white. I just want to put a dash of brown in there and I'll mix it up. Where's my paintbrush? There it is. The brown is dried up more than I like, so I'm actually just taking a little bit to get just the color pigment to add to the white. I don't actually want to mix them together. I might get particulates. I might get some particulates inside this white from the brown, and that will just clog up everything I have. And I don't want that to happen. There we go. And this whole thing is probably going to end up like a little bit of that brown is definitely not showing in. It's going to probably end up with a little bit of gore on top of it. Maybe a pinch, very little pinch of black. Boop. There we go. It's going to end up with gore painted on top anyway. we got gray. Even with that small amount of brown, black, we got gray. But we're gonna add more white anyway. So let's pour that gray in there. So grayish brown. And then we're going to top it off with a lot of white. And then mix it right inside the cup. Because the issue is, this stuff doesn't flow very well from container to container. So if I mix it in one cup and then try to pour it out into the other one, it just ends up getting lost in the transition. This is a water-based airbrush paint. My white kept running out. My white kept drying up on me. Last time I tried to do an airbrush project in white, it just gave me lots of problems. I just went ahead and bought a brand new bottle of white. So let's go and see how this looks. Still a little bit more gray, but we can always do coats on it. Yeah, let's start. You know what? Yeah, since it's already a bit of a gray color, we'll keep that gray for now. We'll start off with the gray for the bone, and then we'll especially if I get the the undertone, all the little nooks and crannies, and then we'll do a coat of white. The bone is literally just sheets of EVA foam in the back, and you can see some of the actual EVA foam texture. But give the EVA foam matte, not like clean matte, not clean EVA foam, which is why you see the grip pattern on the back. But it was, a bit of a slapdash job to get the bones. But it's only going to be for a short scene in the film anyway. This is for a short film we're doing. Yeah, I actually, so I pulled out the airbrush today to help a friend of mine who's back in town with a project he was doing. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't pull out the airbrush that much because it's just a whole thing you gotta do. I don't know, it's good. I need to stop being lazy and just set it up, but it's like having the room to do it. Hence the reason I'm in my bathtub right now doing this. Stay. There we go. So I went through it real quick. Now I'm just going to put straight up white in there. Going to see if we can do a white coat on top of that. Turn it upside down. Yeah, get the angles I couldn't get before. That was nice. Let me do the underside of the brain because I want to get that soft tissue. There we go. Should I be wearing a mask? Yes, I should. But then again, this is water-based. It's not extremely hazardous, but I should be wearing a mask anyway. I'm just, once again, cutting corners as I work. the skin tone I have is a transparent, kind of fleshy peach. So I might also, with this white airbrush, do a layer on the brain. Because I have a peach color, but it's pretty dried up, and I don't want to mix that into the airbrush. It might just clog it. Yeah, we got a good amount of white in here. Let that dry for a second. Whoop. Knocking my camera around. So I'm checking the battery power on my, this is my old phone I'm using as a camera. I'm debating if I should just, switch over to my wired camera. We'll see. In a bit, I'm gonna have to switch over, change cameras. Okay, let's get some white on the bulk of the brain. Because like I said, what I have is a transparent like skin tone to use on this. So if I add white, that'll definitely help. But what's good is that all of the, since I hit this thoroughly with peel coat, the black peel coat, a lot of the grooves and crevices, the crevasse, is already darkened. So that might give it a nice shadow effect. We're probably gonna just do this whole thing in a airbrush skin tone. And then I might do some hand painting via, basic brush. Basic hand brush. Some veins and like really faint blue veins on this. In the film, we're gonna probably cover this sucker with blood and just a little, it's gonna be dripping all down, which is gonna help hide these wires. And the good news, so if anyone was watching, you might have noticed that the latex mold that made of this was like breaking at some points and whatever, was not as stiff as it could be. But the longer I let that sucker sit, the harder the latex gets, and now it holds the shape a lot better. So it still has a few tears in it, but it definitely holds the shape. And yes, we still have also the original brain. So if push comes to shove, I could just do another mold of this. We're paying the butt, but I could do another latex mold, another latex mother mold, as it's called. No, latex mold, and then a plaster wrap mother mold on that to have it hold its shape. Give me a second, guys. What is going on with my secondary device? Like, I don't know, you buy all new wires, but if the machine, if the device you're using is old, the wires just don't plug in as like securely as you wish. Okay. I want to check out this. Transparent. It's Create Text, water-based kind of peach color. So we're gonna try and break this out now. See how it looks. And I pray to heaven that this isn't like bright up on the inside and it's gonna cause this to clog instantly. It's a brand new bottle, just opened it now on camera. Oh yeah, it's very faint. With a few coats of it should work. Let's see. Let's do the back for a test. I mean, it's there, but it's super faint. But it's there though. I don't know if you can even see that on camera. There we go. Just doing a little test on a piece of paper. There it goes. Because it's transparent, it's gonna be a slow and steady. But you can see it though. So you can see cracks here and here. There's just spots where the expandable foam just didn't fully expand. Because this wasn't me working with like special effects art foam. This was literally, this was just Home Depot hardware store window expandable foam. Oh, it's a bit dried up. We're going to use a lot of this. Dan, stay. Good boy. So it's transparent, but it also is a slightly darker tone than the other peach I have. Then again, if I want, I can mix some of the white into this, which will reduce the transparency and also bring up slightly different color, a lighter color, if that makes sense. It'll be less transparent, but it'll be a lighter color, which saying out loud does sound weird. Where's my scrap? Little piece of paper here. I just cracked open my door to get a bit more airflow in here, which means you guys could probably hear the actual compressor that's just outside the room. It's like whenever you get one of those like anatomy models in school, those little plastic models, all the intestine, all everything's all color coded and slightly different. So like I have to fight the urge to do that when I'm actually um, coloring. There we go. When I'm actually coloring things like this, but then maybe it'd be a little fun to add a few weird colors to stuff that should just be fleshy. Why not make it a little purple? Why not make the liver a little brown like it's always shown? Maybe the lungs are purple, solid purple. You say, how's that on camera? I want to try something a little crazy. Give me a second, I'm gonna pour some of this back in here, save it for later. So that's translucent. And it works, but I definitely need more, I want more color in it. So I'm gonna add white to what's left in here. Shake it up inside the airbrush. Ah, that looks nice. Okay. So once again, less transparent, but a nice like pinkish color. What if I just add a dab of red? And then we'll shake it up in here, see how it looks. Yeah, we're going for straight pink now, like a nice pink. This is a deeper red, and it, instead of coming, I mean it's pink, but it's like a, I don't know, it's like a, almost, like I feel like it's leaning towards like a, would you describe it as a purplish pink? I don't know how well you guys can see that on camera. But let's see how it looks like once it's painted. By the way, that constant noise you probably hear is the air vent in my bathroom sucking up all that dust and everything. Come on, show me that color. The paint's giving us issue now. Like the airbrush is working, but the paint. This white is brand new. It should not be causing me problems. thing is, airbrush paint dries so quickly. It's so easy for it to like dry and then drop a little bit of that dry skin deep into the airbrush itself. That's the issue with airbrush. It just goes so it just dries on the edge of this and it flakes and falls right in. Yep, I can see some right now. There's literal flakes of like the dried white. Stand by. This is the bane of my existence. This is one of the major reasons why I don't do airbrush. It's just like, you get like 15 minutes of work time and everything, it just stops. While I'm here, I'm going to plug up this drain. Because knowing me, I'll drop a piece of the airbrush and it will disappear forever. Yep, we already got tons of like come on, baby. Yep, it already got something jammed in it. God, airbrush. What a pain. Maybe it's the airbrush I'm using. It's an old airbrush. But I feel like every airbrush I've ever had has done this. It just decides, you know what? We've worked for about 5 minutes. Let me just stop and take a break. Then again, when I was using the black ink, the black paint, it was working just fine. It could just be that the red paint had some particulate in it. And now that I mixed it in here with this, it has blocked off not the airflow, but the paint flow. Yeah, so what we're gonna do? Gonna lose this paint right now. It was a shame, it was a good pink. Just the right paint color. We are gonna put this aside right now. We're gonna flood out this this paint we have. And see what happens. Alright, let's go over paint, airbrush anatomy, the basics. You push this down, that allows the air itself to fly out, right? When you pull it back, it's supposed to allow the water, whatever's in the reservoir right here to leak out. Right now I just filled it with filled it with water. And the water seems to be doing well. It's flushing out whatever was in there for the meantime. And we're going to hold it and let that sucker just soak up my hands and get it all out the way. So the water is coming out. Don't know how cleanly it is, but it is coming out at least. Couturiers Rex. Hey, dude. As always, struggling with the airbrush. Good to see you. how does it all work? There is a literal needle inside this. Unscrew this to loosen it up. That needle is what is the stopper for the entire airbrush. Right? It feeds all the way through, and you squeeze it down to let the air out, and when you pull it back, the needle pulls back and lets the paint feed in. And when the paint touches the air, it flies out, and that's how you get the airbrush. Thank you for the compliment. It'll look better if I had it painted. So I just fed this in, and it gave me some resistance, which means there's definitely something going on inside this airbrush. There we go. I'm looking in here, where you can see the needle feed through and come out this little nozzle at the end. Just trying to figure out. Okay, looks like we're clean. Let's put it back together and see what happens. Come on, buddy. There we go. Also clean off all the heads. Yeah, I think it's just that white paint dries so freaking quick. It just loves to get clogged no matter what you do with it. Like I said, I was really hoping of using that nice pink, but it did not want to work with us. There's a nice little paint can kind of ball in here, which is really nice. We'll put a little bit less in there. And I still want to try and get that pink. Let's try one more time. Mix a little bit of the red with the pink. I mean red with the white. So we get that nice pink we had before. Let's see what happens. Still a bit more white than I would like, but let's see what happens. As I tilt it sideways and spill half of it on the bathtub. The good thing about having your own place, you don't have to worry about your mom saying, "Oh, you ruined the bathtub, it's all the paint's everywhere." There we go. We have contact, contact, contact. Yeah, this is once again a bit more white than pink, but we could do with layer after layer, we can then do the transparent on top of this with that nice transparent flesh tone. And we'll eventually reach like the spot I'm looking for. Oop. I think we just ran out. Like I said, I just spilled some of it. Yeah. Now, once again, it's a bit darker than I like, but it's transparent on top of pink and white. So let's see if this skin tone one looks nice on top of that. Yeah, I think it's working. The only issue I'm having is that it's drying up on the edge of the nozzle here. So it's coming out, but it's building up on the edge. It's like when the nozzle of the spray can begins to get clogged because it's on top of it. Oh, but it does look good. Now that we got a few layers in here, oh, it does look good. Come on, baby. Do it for me. Oh, I think we got some clogging again. Oh, what? Why? Why? You're going so well. Look at that color we got so far. We have a nice basic whitish gray for the bone. We're getting nice pink layering for the brain. It's just, why? Why are you like this? Why can't you be normal? Come on. Any suggestions, Joe? Why my airbrush always clogs? Anyway, as I try to figure this out. By the way, as the little corner scrolling says, I officially have tables for Brooklyn Comic Con, and yeah, it's in Brooklyn, obviously, and Cosmic Con, which is going to be in Queens. Cosmic Con comes up first. It'll be next month. Check it out. If you type in Queens Comic Con, it might be the same thing. It might be that, it leads you to Cosmic Con essentially. Aha! Contact. There we go. Don't know what was causing it, but So what I was doing was putting my finger on at the nozzle and then letting the air come out, which causes, when you do that, you're blocking it so it backtracks and basically causes little bubbles to come out where the paint should be coming out. So it kind of forces it to unclog itself. At least that's one way I've approached it. We are dry again. Put some more. There we go. It's just, once again, because, and even then, because this is air based, even if I hadn't covered this foam with peel coat, because this is expandable foam, but the rest is EVA foam. Expandable foam and the spine is EVA foam, which is why I wanted to spray the whole thing with peel coat. I'm not too sure how well spray paint works on expandable foam. But either way, it's water based. It's not going to eat through it either way. But it also gives a little flex. So in case it gets bumped or anything, it's not gonna, it's not gonna ruin it. And a pinch of white. I'm gonna shake it up while it's in here. Let's see, did it shake up? Why I shook up? Just to give a little bit of pink. I'm not going to do the whole thing in pink, just a little bit. I definitely want to do the underside. I feel like the underside should be softer. Yeah, nice pinkish white. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. I'm gonna flush this out real quick. Then let this dry. Ooh, camera. Let this dry for a few seconds, and then I'll do some. Take a blue paintbrush, and we'll do a few veins here and there. And then maybe we could do another coat on top of that. So essentially I flush it out, fill it with water. Let me cover this for now. Fill it with water, and that's gonna let it just go with the water, to have the water clean out everything that's in there. Okay, camera's still good. Looks like it's still good. Ooh, bumping into everything over here. Yep, that's just water coming out of it right now. And if I hold it, you'll see it slowly, actually not so slowly, just really quickly draining out of the main cup right there. So when the airbrush works, it's wonderful. When it doesn't work, it's a pain in the butt. When it's all done, for the film, we're probably gonna put up, I don't know, maybe some corn syrup or something. We're gonna slosh this thing up, make it look nice and wet and juicy. Do, 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 do. Okay. Let me turn off my compressor just for a minute. Because if it's not used after a while, it begins to build up pressure anyway. Oh, so Joe, if you don't know already, the Orc is back in town. Which is why he was, for those of you who don't know, the Orc, once again, good friend of mine, good friend of ours, is back in town. And that's what I was talking about, whether or not you want to meet up tomorrow. I'm sorry they got you freaking working tomorrow, that sucks. But I'm down for like an evening meetup if you're cool with that. So we're going to mix some airbrush paint on the side over here. Do it by hand. And we just going to paint a few random spots. A few randos. Very, very faint blue. Most likely anatomically incorrect, but Hey, when's the last time you saw a brain up close? You know, how do you know? I always hear people say the brain doesn't have nerve endings. So you don't, so if the brain itself gets damaged, you wouldn't, like you don't feel it hurting. I always hear that, but I've always wanted to like look that up and see if it was true. As I'm painting this, I'm thinking of like Frankenstein. So I have the song Monster Mash going through my head right now. It was a smash. It was a graveyard smash. Oh. I should be careful. I might get copyright strike. I'm getting a bunch of those. I just got a whole bunch of copyright strikes, like strikes explode. Not a strike, just a copyright claim. Let me be more precise. On my YouTube channel. For stuff I'm just too lazy to like fight about, right? Like there's a famous piano song called The Entertainer, and there's like the original song, and then there's a song that was used like in 1970 in some film, and every time I use any song, any video I have that has the piano player, yeah, you've heard it. It's the ones they sometimes use for ice cream trucks. Dun 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 dun. Like that apparently last time I checked was copyright, like it was free domain. But because a version of it was used in some 1970s movie, every so often I get a freaking flag for on a video. Nothing, and they say, "Oh, don't worry, you're not in trouble. It's just you can't monetize this video, yada yada yada." I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But it's just I hate the fact that it keeps popping up because it just some freaking old ass movie decides to do something just similar enough to it where they could then claim it as their own. I mean, obviously, this is 1970. They didn't plan for freaking YouTube, but here it is. Should I? So I lighten the base, right? Should I give this a yellow tone? I found every brain like chart I've seen, the bottom, this area, it's always like done yellow. Is actual brain yellow? I don't know. But I wonder if I should just, go with the flow. Alright, those look nice for now. A few random bits. Put that paint to the side for now. Why not? I say why not, knowing full well that my yellow always clogs up the freaking airbrush. Like, I know this. But I still want to try. Me too, mostly white. Not mostly, that's a good chunk of white. Boop, 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 boop. Shake this up. This is opaque yellow. Just a dab of it in the white. That should mix up pretty thick anyway. Shake this bad boy up. That's a nice yellowish white. Nothing too crazy. Let's turn on the compressor again and see what happens. Okay. A little test cloth here. Okay, let's see. Actually, does look very nice. Yeah, it breaks up the shape a lot more. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think it breaks up from just all. Meh. Just a little bit down the center, kind of split the domes in half. I don't know, I could fix that later if I don't like it. Yeah, I think I like that yellow. That yellow, that pale yellow against the flesh tones. I do really like that. Yeah, we'll stick with that. I wonder. But just do a little bit of a pass of this pale yellow over the bone, over the white bone for now. We're not turning it yellow. We're not turning it yellow, but we're adding it as a mist, like a very light mist over all of this grayish white. Ooh, the brain looks good. That brain looked good. Time we got 9 o'clock, not bad. Wash this out. Now I have a purple here. I have a very nice purple spray paint. I keep saying spray paint. Very nice opaque purple. Which I should shake up first. I wonder if I really dilute it, like really dilute this like shade of purple with white. Right? Like really mix some white in there. How's that look? Oh no. What I'm thinking is some white with the absolute smallest amount of purple I could put in there. I mean, enough, small, but enough where you can actually see the damn thing. And then a little bit of water, like dilute it all, if possible, and use a little bit of that from like some thin like shadows. Thing is, now that I'm trying to mix freaking the purple in there, it's coming out too light. Like it's like, how much purple do I need to avoid it being white, or without it just being a dark purple? You know. Okay, let's take a test. Testing. Shake it up. Shake it up. That's a really pretty color too. Well, so have to get through some of the yellow we have. Let's see. That's the purple I'm talking. Look at that. So maybe just a little bit of this. Some of this like in the crevices. I do like that. It's nice. You really don't know how well these color tones are looking on camera. I'm liking them. I don't know if you guys can see how well that looks. Could be a lighting issue. I think on camera it looks a lot more grayer than it should be. It actually is a little bit more pink, to be honest. That does look nice. Let's put some on the other side. A little bit where the pink meets the yellow tone. real pain is when the airbrush isn't flowing perfectly. So you get like sudden burst of color and you don't mean to. But yeah, that looks good. I actually really like that. That looks real good. How's it look on camera? I know it's a little gray, a little bit more muted color on camera. It's a little bit more dull, but these are shades of fleshy pink, or more of a flesh tone. You have the, once again, you have the blue, little blue hints of veins. This purple, I think, really breaks it up well. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the brain for now. You got a good amount of purple in this too. You know what? What if? I'm just gonna do a little bit of purple. I'm gonna carry this like fleshy purple down the underside of the bone. We could always come back in here and cover it up with white or something. But bone is living tissue. There is blood going through your bones. So adding a little bit of purple now, maybe going back with some whites, some more browns. Yeah, yeah. It's not crazy, not a crazy idea. Do the backside as well, just for the heck of it. Even though like none of this backside is gonna be already on camera, but cover your bases, why not? Adding these like purples going down. Oh yeah, I like it. It carries the color. Oh, it carries the color well. I mean, the fact that he stands, that's a beautiful thing right there. Okay, I don't want to pour out this purple yet. I want to make sure I have everything I want like touched up. trying to get inside these two cracks. These are obviously areas where the foam didn't come together well. So why not fill them up with a little bit of a deeper purple, give them some brain damage look. Yeah, anywhere where there's like a really big indent, I want to fill up. It's alive! Alright. I'm going to pour out this purple. You are not needed anymore. Be gone. It's weird, trying to clean it, this airbrush paint goes a long way. But when you're using it, it runs through its stock so quickly. It's like, it's a weird thing about it. My butt, she goes numb. Come on, clean out, clean out. Yeah, I'm gonna have a fun time tomorrow scraping this freaking bathtub. Too cold to go outside, nowhere in my house to do it. I say house, nowhere in my apartment to do it. Even if I did make a little like tent for airbrush, this project's a bit too big for even like the standard airbrush tents you see. Come on. Look at that. Look how much is, I don't know if you can see, look how much is actually in that. Just there we go. Woo! That'll do for now. So, I think the brain is looking really good. I know my head is in the screen half the time, forgive me about that. But I think the brain is looking pretty damn good. Whoa! Contact! Are we still there? Do you still have me? Show me. Show me if we're still live. Are we still live? I think we are. Alright. I think we're still live. I just don't know how much power I have left on this. Says 100%. Alright. We're good. We're good. Sorry about that. I just wanted to move the camera a bit because you guys, my big old head kept getting in the way. Everything's okay. Nobody panic. Ooh, nobody panic, please. Please. Please, no panic, please. Okay. So we've been using a transparent. There's this lighter beige, pinkish one. I think I'm not going to use anymore. I don't want to touch it anymore. Not the brain anymore. I don't want to touch the brain anymore. But I would like some shade of light brown, like a sandy brown, if we could get it there for the bone. But I don't know if I'm getting what I want from mixing this brown with this white. Like, there's barely any brown in here. And I don't think it's gonna give me that sandy, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna give me the color I want. Let's try this again. There we go. Not yet. I'm just taking it like a dot at a time, mixing the brown into this white. Too much and it's just like brown, you know? That's it. No in between. Too little and it's nothing. It's just white again. So come on, dip it in. Is there just no brown left in this? Come on. It really is just fighting me. Like, you think even the smallest amount of color would cause this white to like really, you just want to add a little bit of green to the white and it just turns solid green. There we go. It's getting there. Okay. I'm gonna try something stupid. Bear with me. I'm mixing random colors here, people. You see that? I mixed green in there with the brown to like muddy it up, and it's still like it's just freaking green and white. I'm going to just shake this bottle upside down, get whatever last bit I can out of this. Come on. Let it go. Let it go. Just give up and give me that freaking pigment. I'm trying so hard to mix brown and not get like chunks of dried brown in there. So we have here is a very weird pale brownish green white. Like it's just super pale. But let's see what it looks like when it's up against the brain and everything else in color. Right? Let's just see what it looks like when it's all together. We get some test cloth here. There's probably still some other purple left in there. There we go. Okay. So what we're getting is a white with a little bit of brown, which is giving it more of a skin tone. Then the bone I want. Let me do this. Like chocolate milk. Also a good way to mix up the color. Like blend it. There we go. There we go. It just looks more skin tone though than just. Maybe I should just bite the bullet and just do most of this like white. Maybe I should just bite the bullet and be like, screw it, make it white. Oh, I am happy I bought this new white though, cause I just couldn't stand freaking my airbrush getting clogged every time. You know what? That looks better. Like just doing coat after coat after coat, whatever this kind of pale purplish brownish white is, that looks like bone. That looks so much better. Once again, I'm not sure how much of it is getting caught on the camera, but I guarantee you, it's good. Let me do the opposite side too. Come here, you. Come here, you. Come on. Sometimes it gets a little clogged. Like it's never the constant spray you want. There we go. Find myself constantly going buzz, 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 like to get it to go. Look at this. So airbrush should not be this messy. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be this messy. But it is in my life. Fun fact, there is a tiny little hole right here on the lid that is meant to let air in and out. Mine is clogged, which is why it popped when I tried to do the backflow technique. Just popped it right off. get the side of these little spinal bumps. That's a scientific name, right? Spinal bump. Name of my rock band back in college. Yeah, this all needs to be cleaned off. I need to be cleaned off. It needs to be cleaned off. Everything needs to be cleaned off. The bathtub will be wiped down tomorrow. All right. Yeah, I like that color. It's like it is the very, very pale brown. Like very pale. And when you have it up against the grain for reference, the little grain here, it's perfect. Not for reference, I'm sorry, which one I'm thinking of? For contrast, for color contrast. I'm going to, oops, drop that camera. I'm also going to do a quick cleaning of the airbrush right now. Because it and I are a mess, and that's not going to fly. If I'm a mess, it's fine. The airbrush is a mess. It just won't work for me. Okay. Airbrush paint, water-based, and scrubs off very easily. You don't see it, but I'm scrubbing. So I'm making sure to clean out the inside of the airbrush as much as possible. And once again, because airbrush paint can scrub off so easily, it just becomes little particles that get jammed in the fine points of the brush next time you go to use it. But this has been pretty good so far, despite the struggles. Like I'm happy I was able to get through with the new white. Joy-Cam just shut off for some reason. Don't know why. Joy-Cam, restart yourself, you fool. Alright, stand by. I'm going to restart the Joy-Cam on my computer. Very odd, very odd. Make sure we're still. Are we good? Testing, 1, 2, 3. There we go, okay. Sorry about that, guys. As I was saying, the main thing is right there, when you can see the needle going through, that needs to be cleaned out. And that is cleaned out now. Like, if I was to put some water in it, it would shoot right through. But, I'm going to unscrew that out, not poke myself on the needle. I'm also going to unscrew this. There's a needle. Looks kind of like a tattoo gun. These combs, if you would, need to be cleaned off. That's just a funnel with really small holes for the needle to fit through. Just wiped it off to get it clean. This is another funnel, and all around the rim of that funnel is junk, which needs to be cleaned as well. So, let me do that. Give me a second here. Ooh, that was hot. Yeah, I just turned off my compressor, and I can feel it's hot. Real hot. Where the hell are my Q-tips? Ah, there you are. I was sitting on them. Just want to get that cleaned out. We'll get the brain back in focus in just a moment, guys. Stick with me. Ooh, that new paint really sticks. Might need to get into this with like an X-Acto knife later on when I get a chance. Wow, this stuff is like bad in there. Well, we got most of it out. Most of this is cleaned out. Do a little twist. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Do. Okay. Yeah, I'll go into this with an X-Acto knife later. It is jammed. Drain the last of the air out of that. That's good. Hey, come here. That slid across the freaking floor weird. Gonna screw this back on. Doop. That little hole on top is like minuscule, really tiny hole. Needs to be cleaned out, otherwise I can't really put the cap on while using the airbrush because there'll be a weird air suction, which is why earlier I was just using the airbrush without the cap because I was afraid that would happen. But for now we reassemble. Put all your stuff together, people. Don't lose it. Don't lose your junk. No one likes lost junk. You go home, you tell your wife I lost my junk, and she's like, where'd you last see it? It never ends well. That's good enough for now. Alright. Filthy airbrush, slightly better hands. Put that to the side. Put it all to the side. Oh, let me see. Get that camera to focus a little bit for us. Put in my headset real quick so I can hear what's going on. Yeah, okay, so, as I said, on this camera, in this lighting, it does look a bit more gray on camera. But you see the bone. The bone looks a lot better. This on camera, it's like a black and white gray, but in hand, it has a very, very faint bit of like fleshy pink in this bone. So it's a grayish, very, very pale kind of complement to this. We have our yellow tones in the bottom. I took the purples and just used them to fill in and hopefully like exaggerate the gaps. And this was all done once again with white and a transparent like skin tone and a little bit of red for pink, going back and forth, layering those skin tones until I got like a nice color I wanted. And once again, on camera, it looks gray. In hand, it is definitely more pink. And it still does this little creepy wiggle. This is perfect for what we need. So like, you can hold it by hand and move it around, and then you also use this triangle piece with its 3 plastic cords to like help guide it a bit more if it's standing straight up on camera. In film, it's going to be, we're going to cover it with some blood, maybe some red strings hanging off of it for like extra visceral. We don't know to the day of shooting for sure. But yes, the brain is done. As far as I'm concerned, this brain is good. Stay. And it stands, which I love. It freaking stands. Like the weight is just perfect where it stands. And that's it, guys. What time is it? Are we early today? It's like, it's like 9:40. We're a bit early today for ending, but that's what this project was. Just me finishing this up, trying to slowly tick off some boxes. Close up that white nice and tight before I put it back in its container. So this brain is part of the same project of the demon head, that human-sized latex puppet head. It's almost like a latex mask. That's part of the same project as this. We also, speaking of which, if you want to see how I did the latex, how I made a latex puppet head that was like human size, I made a video about that. It's on my YouTube channel, The Burgers Art. You can check it out. It's called the Quick Vids. So like once the video gets going, it's like a 15, maybe 20-minute tutorial, real quick on like all the steps needed to like make your own puppet head out of latex, which can also be used to make your own mask out of latex. Same process, exact same process. But the latex puppet head, the flying bat head, which is a small hand puppet with bat wings, that's part of this project as well. It's all part of this one horror, I can't even call it horror, just like weird grindhousey gore kind of short film I'm doing with Pretorius Rex, who's in the chat. Check out Pretorius Rex on Instagram. And and we're working with our good friend Ray. He is the screenwriter. We are merely his special effects puppeteers. And what's left of this project on my end is to do a creepy like monster claw with like suction cup fingers for one of the actors to interact with. And then that'll pretty much be it, I think. Oh, and Grandma. Oh, I forgot Grandma. Grandma, if you've seen her, Grandma is a puppet with a frog face and a long tendril arm. She's the one with the claw arm. So all that's part of that. All of that is part of this lovely, lovely project. I is happy. Once again, Brooklyn Comic Con up in the corner. You can see Brooklyn Comic Con. That'll be in June. Cosmic Con in Queens. That's Queens Comic Con. It is referred to as Cosmic Con. And it's next month, February. I will have a table there. I will be selling stuff. Hope to see you there. I'm also applying for Long Island Tabletop and Long Island Retro Gaming. Those happen on two ends of like early summer, late summer timeline. I'll let you guys know if I have a table for that. But if I don't, still check them out. So yeah, check out those are conventions. Those are what's going on. Why is he still out of focus once he steps a few feet away? What is going on here? Come on. There we go. Let's do it sideways. That way you guys. Alright, that's a nice shot. Turn him sideways. So anyway, yeah, those are the conventions coming up. And I hope to see you guys there. Whether I have a table or not, we have to bump into a lot of people. And that will be it. And yeah. So, once again guys, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Later.